नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तमलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। भगवद्गीता अध्याय 2 श्लोक 64 रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति। In the previous 2 verses, Bhagavan explained how a person gets into a spiritual downfall because of not disciplining his mind and senses. Because of not making effort in the direction of disciplining one's senses and mind, how an individual slips down from the spiritual pursuit. It was described in the 2 previous verses. Now, Bhagavan is explaining what a mumukshu should do, how a mumukshu should conduct his mind and senses. While doing vyavahara, one cannot avoid the sense objects totally. One cannot keep one's eyes closed always. If I open my eyes, my indriyas will create temptation, so I will keep my eyes closed. Then I have to close my ears also. So plug the ears. Eyes and ears are closed. Then again there is another indriya, skin. It will create some touch, good, some soothing, cozy touch. All the indriyas I will have to shut down. If I shut down all the indriyas, vyavahara is not possible. Even a mumukshu has to do vyavahara, transaction, for leading his life. Therefore, he has to pursue various sense objects. In the meantime, he should take care that he does not come under the sway of ragadvesha. With the disciplined senses and with the disciplined mind, without coming under the sway of ragadvesha, without coming under the sway of impulses, a mumukshu has to conduct himself. And if he leads such a life, he attains Chitta Shuddhi. The Chitta Shuddhi is possible only if one makes effort to win over Ragadvesha, to subordinate his Ragadvesha to Dharma, to the understanding of right and wrong. That is how one can make oneself free from Ragadvesha in due course of time. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Ragadvesha viyuktaihi indriyaihi. With the indriyas which are free from Ragadvesha, which do not yield to Ragadvesha, which do not yield to compulsive likes and dislikes. Instead, they act according to the path of Dharma. They adhere to the path of Dharma. That kind of indriyas. And to have that kind of indriyas, the indriyas should listen to the manas. Atmavashyaihi. The indriyas are governed by the manas, the willpower of the manas. Even when the indriyas are attracted, one should be able to withdraw the indriyas, not to act impulsively. Therefore, Atmavashyaihi indriyaihi. Vidheyatma, and his manas is also disciplined. Even his manas, mind, is disciplined. Not only his indriyas are disciplined, his manas is also disciplined. Vidheyatma. Vidheyaha atma antahkaranam yasya saha vidheyatma. The word atma means antahkaranam, not the regular atma. One whose antahkarana is disciplined. The manas is disciplined. The manas acts according to viveka. And the indriyas are also act according to the viveka, not according to the ragadvesha. Such a person, indriyaihi vishayan charan, even he perceives the sense objects. Vishayan charan, he experiences the sense objects, he perceives the sense objects with his senses for conducting his life. Vishayan indriyaihi charan, The indriyas are not shut. He is not sitting in samadhi all the time. He is doing all the transactions that are needed. Then prasadam adhigacchati. Then he attains a prasada. And prasada means chitta shuddhi, purification of mind. This is about a mumukshu. This is not a description of Jivan Mukta, not a description of Sthita Prajna. The shloka says what a mumukshu should do. Instead of following the ragadvesha, a mumukshu should gain mastery over the mind and senses. Then he gets a chitta shuddhi. We will see the bhashya. Sarvanarthasya moolamuktam vishayabhidhyanam athedanim mokshakaranam idamuchyate. Sarvanarthasya moolamuktam vishayabhidhyanam. Sarvanarthasya moolam, the cause of all disaster. And it was vishayabhidhyanam, thinking about a sense object, which was mentioned in shloka 62. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Vishayabhidhyanam. It was mentioned as sarvanartha moolam. Though initially seems to be harmless, in due course of time it leads to great disaster. It was told in the previous two shlokas, atha idanim, now mokshakaranam idam uchyate. Mokshakaranam, the means for moksha, the sadhana for a mumukshu. Idam uchyate, this is being said. Ragadvesha vyuktaihi, ragascha dveshascha, ragadveshau. Bhashyakara gives the samasa, vigrahavakya for ragadveshau. Ragascha dveshascha ragadveshau. What samasa? Dvandva samasa. And later he will say tabhyam vyuktaihi. Tabhyam vyuktaha. Tabhyam vyuktani ragadvesha vyuktani. Taihi ragadvesha vyuktaihi. Tat purassarahi indriyanam pravrittihi swabhaviki. Tat purassara means ragadvesha purassara, following the ragadvesha. Indriyanam pravrittihi, the function of indriyas. Swabhaviki pravrittihi, the natural function of the indriyas. Natural tendency of the indriyas is ragadvesha purassara, is to follow the ragadveshas. Follow one's likes and dislikes. Act according to one's likes and dislikes. तत्र यो मुमुक्षुर्भवति सः ताभ्यां युक्तैः श्रोत्रादिभिः इन्द्रियैः विषयान् अवर्जनीयान् चरन् उपलभमानः आत्मवश्यैः आत्मनः वश्यानि वशीभूतानि तैः आत्मवश्यैः विधेयात्मा इच्छातः विधेयः आत्मा अंतःकरणं यस्य सः अयं प्रसादमधिगच्छति। प्रसादः प्रसन्नता स्वास्थ्यं तत्पुरस्सरा हि इंद्रियाणां प्रवृत्तिः स्वाभाविकी। The swabhavika pravritti of the indriyas, the natural tendency of the indriyas is to follow ragadvesha. But then tatra yo mumukshur-bhavati, tatra evam sati. When it is so, when the indriyas naturally follow the sense objects, then yo mumukshur-bhavati, a mumukshu, this is advice to a mumukshu, how a mumukshu should conduct himself. Saha, he, tabhyam yuktaihi, ragadvesha vyuktaihi, free from ragadvesha. Free from ragadvesha should be understood properly. All of a sudden, the indriyas cannot become free from ragadvesha. They will have some ragadvesha initially. But then, when the ragadvesha crops up, a mumukshu should understand the presence of ragadvesha. First of all, acknowledge the presence of ragadvesha. Yes, there is a raga. To acknowledge the presence of ragadvesha, one should be watchful. One should be alert, vigilant. And then he can make out, yes, now there is a ragadvesha. I am feeling like eating a jalebi. Example, don't take just jalebi is ragadvesha. You recognize it. The indriya has created a raga, a desire. But then you consider, is this desire going to create problem? Most often, yes. The ragadvesha create problem. They deviate from the pursuit. Even the desire to eat jalebi can divert a person from the pursuit for a while. This person ate 4 jalebis of bhandara, and then there is a stomachache, indigestion. Then that evening he cannot come for Gita class. It has happened to me, that is why I am telling you. Not now, long back. So ragadvesha creates problem. then one should subordinate ragadvesha to the norms of dharma and adharma. What is right for me? One should ask this question. It is viveka. The viveka should be remembered at that time. What is right at this moment? Is it right to pursue the ragadvesha, or should I act otherwise? If the ragadvesha itself is in keeping with my right and wrong, then it's okay, I can pursue it. But then most often the ragadvesha is not in keeping with my understanding of right and wrong. Then I have to check how the viveka, buddhi is acting. The buddhi is reminding me of the right and wrong. I know what is right and wrong. I am aware of what is right for me. It is my buddhi. If my buddhi is functioning properly, I will be aware of what is right for me to do. But then the buddhi should send its signals to the manas. And in the manas there has to be a willpower. I should have a willpower to follow the right. In that sense, the manas and buddhi should be aligned. Remembering Kathopanishad example, manas is pragraha, rain. In the manas, a will should develop. Yes, I will follow what is right for me. I will not allow myself to be carried away by the ragadvesha. The will should be formed in the manas. And that is what Krishna says, Vidheyatma. The manas is under my control. I have a say over my manas. Means I can develop a proper willpower. A proper will. A strong will. And if there is a strong will, then the manas can restrain the indriya. Despite being attracted by, pulled by ragadvesha. Indriyas are like horses. The manas has to pull the indriyas. The manas has to restrain the indriyas. And this process of disciplining has to happen time and again. And when it is done time and again, the indriyas get disciplined in due course of time. Manas get disciplined, and so are the indriyas. So, Tabhyam yuktaihi shrotradibihi indriyaihi. With the indriyas which are free from ragadvesha, avarjaniyan vishayan, and he perceives vishayas, the sense objects that are avarjaniya, that cannot be avoided. He will not perceive vishayas that are unnecessary. A mumukshu will not keep looking at unnecessary things. Avarjaniyan vishayan. The things that cannot be avoided. He will limit his transaction to the amount that is very much needed. That is why Shankaracharya says, Avarjaniyan vishayan. The sense objects that cannot be avoided. So watching TV can be avoided by a mumukshu. Yesterday someone was asking, do you need a TV? He said, I don't need TV. Even if I have a TV, I don't have time to watch it. So it is varjaniya. It can be avoided. Distractions can be, there are distractions that can be avoided easily. So, avarjaniyan vishayan. Charan means upalabhamanaha. Perceiving, experiencing. Atmavashyahi. And the indriyas are atmavashyaha, atmavashyani. Atmanaha vashyani vashibhutani. They are under the control of one's mind, manas. Here atma means manas. Atmanaha manasaha vashyani. They are under the restraint of the manas. The willpower is able to restrain the senses. Taihi atmavashyahi vidheyatma ichchataha vidheyaha atma antahkaranam yasya soyam vidheyatma. One whose atma, and here again atma means antahkaranam. The antahkaranam is ichchataha vidheyaha. It can be restrained at will. It can be guided at will. Ichchataha vidheyaha. That which can be moved at will. Atma. Antahkaranam yasya. Means even the mind, manas is restrained, disciplined. Yasya. One who has accomplished this through repeated effort for a length of time, leading a proper lifestyle, he has attained proper disciplined mind and senses. The buddhi, manas and senses are in alignment with each other. So there is alignment of personality. The personality is integrated. It is not that his indriyas take him in one direction, his buddhi takes him in another direction. It is not so. The buddhi has a say over the manas, and the manas has a say over the indriyas. Then prasadam adhigacchati. Then he attains prasada. And what is prasada? Prasadaha prasannata. Clarity, purity is called prasada. Chitta Shuddhi. The mind gets pure. The mind is calm and pure, free from turbulences, free from impurities. And purity is the nature of the manas. If the manas is in its original form, it will be pure. It is like water. Water in its original form is pure. When it is contaminated, it is impure. When something else, some other substances are there, then it is called impure. Likewise, when the manas is free from ragadvesha, it is in its original form, not disturbed by ragadvesha. Therefore, purification of manas can be understood as manas regaining its original form. The form that is not deformed by ragadvesha. Otherwise, ragadveshas deform the manas. Raga pulls one side, dvesha pulls another side. The manas is deformed. That is why, as long as there is too much of ragadvesha, the mind cannot remain sane. A mind with the ragadvesha is not totally sane. Though the person may look sane, but the mind has no real sanity. The true sanity of manas is possible when it is free from ragadvesha. And sanity is an amount of objectivity. The more objective the manas is, the more sane it is. What is an insane person? An insane person's mind, what does it do? It is not objective. It is too much of subjective. It will keep imagining so many things. And all the imaginations are true for that person. Paranoia. And then so many stories come. All the rumors are products of insane mind. So many rumors spread. Why? It is because of the insanity of mind. And when the person speaks, we think it is true. And one person believes it, then he tells it to the other person, then we think it is all true. And it started with an insane mind. So, an insane mind is a mind with the ragadvesha. And as long as there is ragadvesha, the mind cannot be objective. There is some lack of objectivity. So when the ragadveshas are removed, the mind is objective. And the objective mind is a sane mind. And that kind of mind is a swastha mind. That is why Bhashyakara uses the word swasthyam. See, every word of Bhashyakara is so significant if we start thinking properly. Why Bhashyakara uses this particular word? Swasthyam. A swastha mind. A mind which is in its proper shape. A healthy mind, a sane mind is swastha. And it is a result of Chitta Shuddhi. (65) Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhih paryavatishthate. The second line gives a hetu. It is hetu. And the first line is hetumat. That is why we have to study the second line first while doing anvaya. He means yasmat, because. Prasanna chetasaha, one who has a pure mind, one who has attained Chitta Shuddhi. Buddhi means a jnana, atma jnana. Ashu paryavatishthate, ashu, quickly, paryavatishthate, abides, becomes steady. Tasmat, therefore, prasade asya sarvadukkhanam hanihi upajayate. Prasade, when there is Chitta Shuddhi, asya, this mumukshu, sarvadukkhanam, all dukkhas, hanihi upajayate, all his dukkhas come to an end. All his problems, sorrow, all emotional problems are called sarva dukkhanam. All dukkhas, hanihi, they are destroyed. They come to an end. Their destruction happens. Hanihi upajayate. So, see the bhashya. Prasade sati kim syat iti uchyate. Prasade sati, when there is prasada, when the mind is prasanna, when the manas is pure, free from ragadvesha, free from the impurities, kim syat, then what happens? Iti uchyate, it is being told in this shloka. Prasade sarva dukkhanam adhyatmikadinam hanihi vinashaha asya yatehe upajayate. Prasade, when there is prasada, when the manas is pure, then adhyatmikadinam sarva dukkhanam asya yatehe. This yati, we are talking about a yati. a mumukshu. Sarva dukkhanam, all dukkhas. And all dukkhas are adhyatmikadinam, adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivika. Three types of dukkhas. And all these dukkhas are collectively called samsara. Sarva dukkhanam means samsara. Hanihi upajayate. Hanihi means vinashaha, destruction. Upajayate, happens, takes place. Kincha prasanna chetasaha swasthantah karanasya hi yasmat ashu shighram buddhihi paryavatishthate आकाशम इव परि समन्तात् अवतिष्ठते आत्मस्वरूपेणैव निश्चलीभवतीत्यर्थः. किंच, moreover. So this line is connected as hetu for the previous line. That is why he is equal to yasmat. Yasmat evam tasmat sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. So he is yasmat. Yasmat indicates that this line is hetu for the previous line. Prasanna chetasaha means swasthantah karanasya. One who has attained a swastha antahkarana, a pure mind, then buddhihi, his buddhi, ashu is equal to shighram, quickly, paryavatishthate, abides, becomes steady. And Bhashyakara explains the word paryavatishthate. Akasham iva परिसमन्ताद अवतिष्ठते. Akasham iva avatishthate. Becomes steady like Akasha. Just as Akasha is steady. How steady Akasha is? When anything moves in the Akasha does not get disturbed. Things move in very great speed in the Akasha, like the fan and turbine and everything. So much of movement in the Akasha. Yet the Akasha does not get disturbed. Likewise, despite all vyavahara, this person's buddhi, his jnana does not get disturbed. The jnana is so steady. It is always spontaneously available and always it is helping him. He is able to enjoy the benefit of the knowledge. Pari samantat avatishthate. Pari avatishthate. Pari means samantat, in all directions. Means wherever his mind goes, he is not losing sight of the knowledge. Atmaswarupena iva nischali bhavati ityarthaha. The buddhi abides in Atmaswarupa. Steadily abides in Atmaswarupa. Means the Atmajnana is steady. Assimilated. Evam prasanna chetasaha अवस्थित बुद्धेः कृतकृत्यता यतः तस्मात् रागद्वेषवियुक्तैः इन्द्रियैः शास्त्राविरुद्धेषु अवर्जनीयेषु युक्तः समाचरेत् इति वाक्यार्थः। एवं thus प्रसन्नचेतसः, one whose manas is prasanna, clear, and avasthita buddhehe, his buddhi is avasthita, his buddhi has become steady in atmajnana. So here buddhi can be understood as the mind itself, the faculty itself. So in the buddhi the atmajnana takes place. So then we can say the buddhi becomes steady in atmajnana. That is how he puts it. Kritakrityata yataha, he gets kritakrityata. When atmajnana is steady, he enjoys kritakrityata. He enjoys a sense of fulfillment. Yataha evam, since it is so. Tataha, therefore. Tasmat, therefore. Ragadvesha viyuktaihi indriyaihi. So to attain the atmajnana, to attain the steadiness in atmajnana, what one should do? Ragadvesha viyuktaihi indriyaihi. With the indriyas that are free from ragadvesha, that do not come under the spell of ragadvesha, shastra aviruddheshu, the vishayas which are shastra aviruddha, the sense objects and the activities that are permissible to the shastra, means that are in keeping with dharma. Avarjaniyeshu, even then it should be avarjaniya. Certain things may be shastra aviruddha, but if it can be avoided, a mumukshu will avoid it, like the kamya karma ityadi. So avarjaniyeshu, that which should not be avoided. Yuktaha samacharet, yuktaha, with the focused mind, with the composed mind and senses. Samacharet, one should transact. Iti vakyarthaha, this is the purport of this section, starting from 64 and 65. He considers them as one vakya, one single statement, because they convey the same idea. They convey one unit of idea. That is why one vakya. Ekartha pratipadakatvam vakyatvam. Here vakya does not mean a grammatical sentence. Vakya is ekartha pratipadaka. A group of sentences. It may be a single sentence or it may be a group of sentences that convey one artha, one single purport, one single message. It is called a vakya. That is why 64 and 65 form one vakya. And the vakyartha, the purport of the vakya is this. To attain atmajnana, to attain sthairya in atmajnana, prajna sthairya, the status of a sthita prajna, one should discipline one's mind and senses, and subordinate one's ragadvesha to dharma, to the understanding of the right and wrong of dharma. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.